Lately it's looking like everything perfect. Out the mud with it, I put the work in. You can find me where the turf is. Pin precision like a surgeon. Bad ones used to curve me. Showing up to the show when the curve split. She know that I'm worth it. I'm finna go up, I'm aerial. I got the hit stash, got a bracelet for impact. Real tricky.
Okay, welcome back to the Built by Vitality podcast. I'm Steve Pinkerton, and I'm sitting next to
Philip Lewis
and
Nate Agnew.
Okay, this is going to be terrible. Today, we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to start out with the top reasons to try something new. Okay?
Yep. So I'll start off.
Okay, go ahead, Spencer. Go ahead.
Philip didn't want to change up the scenery here in the
my
podcast.
gosh.
I thought we'd bring this chair in.
Let us know if he looks like
Something
he's
new.
3'1".
Yep, but still jacked.
Anyway, okay, I think, me personally, the main reason you should try new things is because everything you've done in your life has been new. Everything since you were born, the first thing you've done, anything, was brand new to you. So it's the only way you know if you like it, you don't like it, and you have like a real reason to back it up for saying, hey, I like this or I don't like it.
Yeah.
But as you get older, I think you get comfortable with those things you have tried, maybe when you get late 20s, 30s, whatever, and then you just end up being like, I'm good where I'm at. I don't want to try anything else new. I'm comfortable.
True.
I think that's kind of a close comparison almost to when you're a kid, and this might be a stretch, but when you're a kid and your parents just force you like, hey, eat this, try this,
Yes.
make sure whether it's, use this broccoli or something crazy, but they're doing it for a reason. Yeah. And to think about that, if you hadn't tested out different foods, if you haven't tested out different restaurants, different styles, like you said, it goes for everything. Like you just would never know.
And that's what I'm saying. So like when you get in your 20s, 30s, a lot of people's on their own or they got roommates or whatever, you don't really have that push anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you're growing up, your parents are like, hey, we're going here.
You have no choice.
Yeah, we're watching this. You're eating this. Sit there until all your vegetable, whatever it is, try this sport. You just never know. But when you get older, you're like, I don't have to do that anymore. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Spencer?
No, I agree 100%. I mean,
it's kind of like you love working out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you're
Yeah.
jacked and you kind of did good in the open. We'll talk about that later. But in general, you would never know that you like that unless you
tried it.
Yeah, like when did you try that for the first time? Like somebody
Yeah.
say, hey, Spence, come try this CrossFit gym. You're like, what the crap is this?
So CrossFit-wise, I mean, I guess I watched it with my brothers and goofed off in the basement with them. But just one day I called up there and said, hey, I don't know why I wanted to either. I don't even remember that. I just was
You had
sitting at the house.
seen it and tried it, though, right?
Yeah. Well, versions of it. Like crazy as I did like Murph 4 or 5 times was my first ever CrossFit
Oh, my
workout.
gosh. And you
In our
still wanted to try
backyard.
it.
Yeah, and still kept. I don't understand that.
But
But
it makes sense. It's still pretty much the same today.
same, yeah. So, and then I just decided to call up there one day and called. They were there, and I was like, I'm going up there. So, and
And
it went.
that's it. All right. So
Yeah.
now literally that's what you do full time, basically. That's your job. That's what your life revolves around, basically.
I would say, yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
I would say it's my job.
It's your goal.
Yeah, that's my goal,
right?
yeah.
So,
sure.
but you would have never known that unless you tried that. So that's what we're getting at here is like Nate. I think Nate, he's semi-good basketball player,
Yeah.
I would say.
I mean,
when we play out back, I'd be dunking on
yeah.
him and stuff all the time. But I kill him in games like Pig and Horse.
Yeah, I mean.
But in general.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
When's the first time you tried basketball? Did you just see that growing up with your dad and sports and whatever, and you're like, hey, let's just try it? Was your dad the guy to get you to do that or friends? What was it?
That's a good question. I don't know if I've ever
Like you're
thought
good
about
at it.
that.
Like how'd you get into that?
I reckon there was some sort of influence, like obviously through my father, because I had a basketball in my hands ever since I can remember. So I couldn't even tell you like when I started. It was just I was born and that's how it was. And it wasn't because of my dad fully, probably because he liked it and that's what he did. But I just caught on to it. But I think you're right. But just starting that, then you get into baseball, then you get into football, and at this point in your life, especially as a kid, now you're starting to develop all these social skills.
Yeah.
You're around different sports. You're constantly around coaches, groups of people, different athletes. You're competing. So you've just reached all of these benefits just from trying one sport.
Yeah.
Just from going to that first practice.
Yeah.
That practice could lead you to a college education. It could lead you to a job in the future just from simply kind of just sticking your neck out there and giving a couple of things a shot. Turns out, oh, I really like these things. You work at them, you get really good at these things. Now you start to kind of reap the benefits down the road.
I think like that, people have hidden talents that they really. It's kind of sad, really, because people have all these hidden talents they'll never experience or find out because they don't try anything new. Like, just something simple. It might sound crazy, whatever, but somebody's like, hey, I want to try a painting class. I don't even know. They just want to go to some kind of thing, and, like, you might not be the next Picasso, but it's like, you might be pretty good at that, and next thing you know, that's your full-time gig, and you're killing it.
Yeah.
But people hold back. It's a weird thing. People hold back, and they just sit at the house, and they're like, I don't want to do that. I'm nervous. I don't know nobody. What if they make fun of my painting? What if they just – I don't know where that comes from, where people get that. It's got to be something they grew up, I guess.
It's just society
like,
almost, maybe.
Society makes us that way.
Yeah.
Like, what if I fail?
Yeah.
I guess that's a bigger thing than
fear
like
of failure.
It's got to be what holds them back.
For sure.
So, like, when you started working out, first, you probably didn't think you would fail, right? You didn't think you would be like, I'm going to do Murph and I'm going to get beat, which you probably didn't.
No. I definitely, stuff probably crossed my mind about, like, how I look or stuff like that. It always does, but I don't think anything, like, you're starting brand new at something, like, you don't, I at least personally didn't really, it didn't bother me about failing or anything like that. Like, that was the whole point of CrossFit, is to put yourself out there and
see what happens.
Kill yourself a little bit. Yeah, see what happens.
Well, I think what Nate was saying, like, when he was born, his dad basically gave him a basketball is all he can remember. Like, I really think it comes when you're born, your family, where you're from, y'all's traditions, your beliefs, whatever it is. I think that really sets people up for when they
100%.
are out on their own.
Yeah.
So if you grew up and your family was more conservative, maybe your parents weren't into sports or they didn't know anything about them, or it just depends. I think maybe you're going to be more apprehensive when you're older and on your own 100%.
Yeah.
But if you grow up and your family's like, oh, let's try this together. Let's all go do this. Hey, try this sport. Well, Spencer, you wasn't that good at that one, but try this one. It'd be fun. And they're kind of pushing you into these things. And when you get older, it's not that hard to jump into stuff.
True. Very true. Yeah.
I think also another one I had on here was, I think Nate kind of talked about networking and meeting people.
Yeah.
So even if you didn't enjoy whatever it was you tried, you might meet, I don't know, the love of your life, a new, business venture, a new job. Maybe you're looking for a new job. You go to an event. Next thing you know, guys like, hey, I'm so-and-so, and my company's actually hiring. Like, you just don't know. But if you sit at the house, there's things that never happen.
Yeah.
Kind of like when I started CrossFit, that's how I found out really that this is kind of what I wanted to do, work at a gym like this. And then I started doing photo and video inside the place. People gave me chances, and I was networking with people, getting different jobs, like getting better at the craft. And then now that's what I do full time. But I never knew that until I tried it.
Yeah.
I'd have been stuck at some miserable, 14-hour day job that I absolutely hate. Yeah, working at the beer company, and I was a very miserable, very unhappy person.
Yeah.
Like, I'd freak out all the time.
On edge.
But like Nate was talking about it earlier, he loves the gym. Nate's known this since what? You were
15.
How many years? That's
That'd be
12,
about
13?
27, so it'd be 12.
So 12 years is all he's known. So this is what he does. It'd be pretty, I would think, if you did that since you were 15, if I was like, hey, Nate, you're going to have to find a new job. How scary would that be?
Yeah, very.
But in general, I think you're around so many people like Spencer, me, Steve, just all these
the people in the gym.
Yeah, like this community, we try new things. It's a lot of outgoing people. We push each other to get out of our comfort zone. So if something like that happened, I think you could handle it mentally better than people that's never been in that situation because they just won't try anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think you could handle a new job. You might not like it.
Yeah, but you'd certainly be able to handle it.
Yes.
I think that, I mean, me and you both touched on it. The network is important, but these days, and I don't want to sound like I'm some old man, even though I go to bed super early. And
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Whatever. But just so many people, and I could be wrong, are just stuck on their phone. And now, the whole COVID situation, and a lot of people are stuck at home or want to stay home, and whatever the case is. But there's not as much interaction. And for these younger generations, it's interesting. You talk to some younger folks. Like I said, I'm not trying to sound like I'm old, but you can't have a conversation with them. Yeah. And that's a scary, scary thing. One of the biggest, and I'm a big believer in, one of the biggest powers in this world is communication. Mm-hmm. If you can communicate with someone, that is huge. When you're not able to do that, you might have the best pedigree in the world. Yeah. Your photos might be the best in the world, but if you can't sit in a meeting and negotiate a contract,
it ain't getting you nowhere.
It ain't getting you nowhere. So, I think that the jobs and the networking is important, but just the actual skill of talking to different people, having awkward situations. Yeah. Everyone wants to avoid awkward moments.
It's gonna happen.
I'll avoid it. I'll walk around. It's gonna happen whether you like it or not, and that's good for you. That's good for you. It keeps you on your toes. I screwed up. I shouldn't have said that. Oh, all this stuff. The old, have a good workout. Oh, have a you too. But, that stuff, it's small stuff like that, man, that really, I think, it just keeps you sharp if you're actually to stay aware of it. A lot of people are just ill of it, and they pay it no mind. Yeah. But if you can stay on your P's and Q's and continue to learn and communicate better, I think that's a skill that comes out of that that's huge.
Yeah, I think that trying new things will open your mind a little bit to other people's beliefs or the way they live. So in general, our society today judges a lot. Whether we admit it or not, our society that's all we do is judge. I do it all the time. I try to get better about it, but all we do is, oh, God, look at that person. I wonder what they do. Huh. Crazy. Yeah. Look like some kind of they should be in prison. I don't know. Just whatever.
Yeah.
But if you go to an event where you're uncomfortable, or you talk to somebody you're like, I don't know about that person. They seem kind of shady. That might be the best conversation you've ever had. Those people probably give you the shirt off their back, and I think you'll become less judgmental because you experienced it, and you're like, okay, I was judging this pretty hard. And now that I experienced it and I've interacted with these people, whatever it is, I think the more you do that, when you see these things out and about, you're not going to judge as hard. I think it actually helps you become less of that type of person.
Mm-hmm. Just a better person in general.
Yeah. I don't know. I know for sure it's scary. We can tell a story of what happened a couple weeks ago with Spencer.
If you'd like to.
Spencer, I'm not saying Spencer's a judge in person. He just freaked out, whatever. So in general, we all decided, let's go to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I need to take a couple pictures.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Let's go to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Okay. And I was going to take the photo from outside because I needed, a little landscape photo, cityscape.
We were planning on going in too.
Yeah. So Spencer said, hey, we going inside. I said, well, I was going to take the picture from outside. He said, hey,
we're here.
Let's see Dale.
We're here.
We're there. Let's go see Dale. Where's Dale?
Dale
Earnhardt, if you know. Yeah. So we look it up. We're okay. Let's go. We go inside. This place is packed. Some guys start sending us towards the groups of people. Hey, guys, this way. We try to go the other way. Guy says, nope, this way. He works there. So we follow the crowd. Next thing you know, we basically went to a freak show. There was coffins there. There was hearse, people dressed up, some one-eyed animals, all kinds of stuff. Nate seen Michael Myers.
Yeah.
But it was a blast.
It was fun. It was an adventure.
For me and Nate.
Yeah.
Me, Nate, and Spencer walked in, and about 3 minutes into it, Spencer says, my entire body is uncomfortable right now.
I think his exact words were, this is the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my entire life.
Spencer said,
it's to that level. Okay.
Yeah, where's Dale? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But he did go in there. I give him that. He stood in the line, went in there, and he still experienced it, but not to an extent me and Nate experienced it.
He tried something new. He might not have liked it.
Yeah. So now I really, even though he didn't go in there and hang out like we did, next time he is even close to that, whether him and his family go on a family trip somewhere, something, if he sees something like that, he's going to have a different view on it. He's going to be like, oh, that's kind of what we walked into. It wasn't crazy. Nate and Philip, they survived. They were fine.
Yeah, but it's not about surviving.
No, in general, I think you'll feel a little different.
No, I won't. Nothing changes.
No, he's freaking out now.
I'm not freaking out. Heck no.
What was your thoughts on that, Spencer?
Exactly what you called it. I didn't call it that. You called it that. Just
What?
What'd you call
A
it?
freak show.
Exactly.
It's fine.
I know. I'm saying I didn't call it that.
Yeah,
the fact that you stayed in there and you called it that yourself.
Well, it was similar to a freak show. Me and Nate went behind, stood in line to get in this curtain.
It was
thing,
that
whatever.
was the freak show.
That was
what
the
it
freak
labeled
show.
that.
That's what they called it?
So
Yeah, it was the real.
yeah, so I'm
That's what it's called.
I'm older than Nate Spencer, so when I think about a freak show, the way I had it set up, back in the day, we'd watch movies and you would see like that same setup with the tent, and when you go in there, it's like a bearded lady or somebody with 7 arms or 4 eyes, and it was actual people, what you would see. So I'm like, this is gonna be great. I get to see it in person. Spencer's like, no. So
But there's a line out the door for just this
See,
tented
exactly.
area. Yeah, well, and as we walk down the line, every single person, like, look at Philip. Philip kind of somewhat
Okay,
fits
whatever.
in to
'Cause
an
I got
extent because he got
tattoos.
tattoos. They're just staring at me and Nate. We're in gym clothes.
This right here, like yeah, we're definitely sticking out. Which,
No, for sure.
I don't know, and that's just the weird thing is like, I don't want the attention. Certainly, I definitely don't want the attention.
We
but
had
at the same time, but at the same time, it was like, man, this is one of the few times in my life where I've ever just been 100% an outlier in a situation, and I just thought it was funny because you got Bozo over here just leading through the freak show. I literally
I was
have
talking
never,
to people.
I've
He's
never
talking-
talking to people.
loud.
I'm like, golly, man, like
was a
look,
good time.
we're the ones that probably shouldn't be here, and he's just talking. But he's borderline one of them in their eyes. To me,
Oh,
it doesn't
great.
look good.
We go in the freak show. There's no people in this thing. Ends up being animals, and it's like taxidermy. They used to be alive. They've been stuffed. There's like a cow in there, got an extra hoof hanging on his rib cage.
Yeah, it was
One-eyed
weird, bro.
lambs, double-headed rats. It was amazing. Spencer missed out, but he went to see Dale.
I got to see
But that's
Dale.
okay.
Yep.
So-
I've never been to the NASCAR Hall of Fame, so
We
So
got
he tried something new?
I walked in there by myself.
So Spencer got the best of both worlds. So another thing that's happening this weekend, we're trying to get Spencer to go, but I don't think he's going to.
Nope. Uh,
There's everybody knows the circus, right? Like the Ringley Brothers, Barnum something
Yeah,
circus back in the
whatever
day.
that is.
Had the animals. I don't think it's a thing no more. So we're going to a circus that is no animals, but it's paranormal.
Well, it's haunted.
It's like a haunted circus.
Yeah, it's a haunted circus.
So it's in a big tent. They set it up.
the name of it's paranormal.
That could mean a couple things.
Yeah, that's mean a
Yeah,
couple things.
yeah.
Yeah. So people are going to dress up like they're scary, and they're going to do a circus. They're going to have people doing muscle ups in there like Spencer. They're just going to have some face paint
They
on
are.
while they do it.
It's in the video.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
Flying around, strobe light. It's got to be way harder than here. No offense. I'm
But
not
it's
discrediting.
100%. They're standing on top of the pull-up
They're
bars.
darn near stroking out, looking at all the lights, and they're just having to land, catch muscle ups. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I'm
I
not
mean,
responding.
you could probably do it. I'm just saying
I
it'd
just
be a
don't
little
think-
tougher.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
tougher.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're doing that. We're trying something new this weekend. Maybe we'll have another podcast and we'll talk about our experience.
I'm pequeño nervy. I mean, pequeño.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a little.
I mean,
You didn't tell me this. You're nervous about
I'm
it?
not. I wouldn't say just nervous, but I'm curious and nervous.
Okay. What was your thoughts on that? Like, why?
Well, there's a couple reasons. For me, like, in general, I don't like haunted stuff. I don't like scary stuff.
Go back to that. Before we go further, why don't you?
I know exactly why.
What? We're starting the podcast with
Oh,
this.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
Tell
All
me
right.
why.
So, just in general, like, growing up, we watched scary movies. I remember one, I think we watched Insidious as a movie. I don't know why my older brother scared the piss out of me. And from then on, I'm like, I can't do this. And man, I don't know what it is. Like, I hold on to stuff, like, pretty strongly mentally. Like, it gets in my brain. Like, I just got an addictive personality.
Yeah.
So, like, if something like that, if I watch that, it's just locked in my brain.
So
like-
you'll be trying to sleep for the next couple of days and
And
it'll
it's-
pop in your brain.
It's just in my, not pop, like, it's in my brain.
It's in
like, forefront.
Oh, gosh. You relive it
Yeah.
for days.
So, and just I don't know, I get it. Like, yes, it's cool to
So
get that
this is
sensation.
good what we're talking about. So he literally just said when he was growing up,
Oh,
that's
here
what we were
we go.
talking about earlier.
Yeah.
This is probably from an experience then. Growing up, your brother
Yep.
scared the crap out of you with the movie. So that's where it come from. Now, if it was different, say your brother was like, hey, man, we're going to watch this movie. It's fake.
Yeah.
He didn't scare you, and you just had a different experience, you might feel different
100%, I
now. But
think
growing
so.
up, you got the crap scared out of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it
You
definitely
never
plays
told
a-
us that.
Well, I
You never
mean,
told us that you.
I just told you I didn't like
I need
it.
to talk to your brother.
See,
pretty-
that's weird because mine's the opposite. I grew up hating scary stuff, scary movies, haunted houses, and roller coasters. And my cousin forced me to watch scary movies, and he forced me to go on roller
Now
coasters.
you like them.
Now I like them both.
But he didn't scare you, right?
You
he
like
didn't-
have a trauma against it.
I mean, I
Trauma.
can certainly think of a
He
couple.
walked you through it.
Like when I watch Signs for the first time, I can still see that alien cross, and it's the most vivid. Now it looks dumb, but when I was a kid,
I love
it was the
that.
scariest thing I've ever seen.
Same thing. Like, I don't know if
the
this
Mel
is.
Gibson, right?
Yeah, man, with Joaquin Phoenix.
Had that little kid that left water bottles all over the
Yep,
place.
and they
My
put
mom,
aluminum foil on their
my
head.
mom says, "Hey, when you live
That's-
at home, you're like the kid from Signs. You leave
Leave
water,
water-
half-empty water bottles all over the place." I'm like, whatever. I'm thirsty. Mom.
Same thing. I don't know if this is Insidious or not. I think it is. But I remember some creature-looking thing walking up the ladder into the attic. And then how they ended the movie.
Oh, in the movie. I
Oh,
thought you
yeah.
In
meant
the
your
movie.
house. I was like, dang,
Well-
this is a trauma.
In the movie, like, they ended it with a lady dressed in all black coming, like, at the
That's- yeah, I
camera.
think it was
And, like,
Insidious.
3D, too. So she, like, looks like she comes at you.
Yeah.
And vividly, like, same thing. I'm 23 years old, and I'll be walking up the steps, and like I'll see it in my head, and like, oh crap, I gotta take off. Like, cause she's
Still
running
think about it.
after me. Yeah.
Well,
But
you never told us that.
What about this fact? So, like, I get that, and this is from a person who, I guess it sounds weird to say out loud, but I'd like being scared. I like being on edge because it forces me. I almost want to see how I react.
Yeah. I
And
get that.
whatever. So nothing's
Okay.
obviously gonna happen. But at the end of the day, and let's just put it in the genre of scary movies. And I'm not being a jerk here, but it's not real.
No. Yeah. 100%.
So where for you? And I'm not making funny. I'm just curious. Where
Yeah.
for you is the line of like it's scary until it's okay? Drop it. It's not. This isn't actually a real thing. So there's no sense. Do you know? Do you get what
I
I'm
get
saying?
what you're saying, but to an extent, like,
Or is that barrier for most people? I guess.
yeah, I don't
That's-
know.
it's gonna be different
That's-
for everyone.
That's tough. Like, I know, like,
You'll go into a movie. You know it's not real.
oh, 100%. Yeah. But I don't know. It just, I think just what it does to me, like, mentally, post-wise, it's not worth it.
That's
like,
why
it's
that's
not
one of
worth
my-
Okay.
the
Yeah, I get
the
that.
thrill you get while watching it.
That's why I think
You
it's
know?
one of my favorite
Yeah, I
genres.
get
Is
that.
because, like you said, I like being scared, but I still know it's not real.
Yeah, like I know I'm gonna be okay.
My
Yeah.
favorite ones are the ones that are like based on true story or
You're out
whatever.
of your daggone mind.
But in general,
in the world.
scary. I just love it. But it does something different than a love movie or an action movie
Yeah,
or
for
whatever.
sure.
When you leave a movie watching something scary, normally it's you watch a movie at night. If you go to the theater, when you leave, it's dark.
Yeah.
The scary movies got a lot of darkness in it.
Yeah.
So on the way to your car,
You're thinking the same
you're
thing.
like, oh, it's dark like the movie. Like you start freaking out. It does something different than if you went to watch a
100%.
love movie and you're on the way to your car and you're like, yep, gonna find my true love out here in the parking lot. You don't think that way.
No.
You
yeah.
go into a scary movie and you, like you just said, but the movies, this is what they do best. That's why they keep making them.
Yeah.
You go into that movie knowing it's not real
And still.
unless it is.
Oh,
Unless it's
yes,
all-
it does.
And it just and that's the same thing. If that affects you afterwards, and it does it to us all. Like I go see a scary movie, you're gonna think about it afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's just for some reason that, like you just said, that look over your shoulder type thing that I don't know. It's just,
for some
intriguing.
reason, I love it. So if I watch something scary and I'm at home alone,
I won't
there's
do
been
that.
I'll do that, but there's tons of times where I'll watch whatever it is, go to the bathroom, and on the way in the bathroom, I know when I walk in, the mirror's on the right,
yeah.
where the
Don't- I
sink
ain't
is.
looking.
I don't look at the mirror.
I ain't
I don't.
looking.
I will go straight to the toilet, do my business, come back over, will not make contact with the mirror, wash my hands, keep my head down, and walk back because I don't want something popping up behind you. I don't because you know a lot of scary movies.
Yeah,
that's
they
what
use the
pops
mirror.
up.
Yeah.
Scary just does a different thing to people, and I don't know why that is.
We used to do some, man, back when we were in college and stuff, we would, it doesn't make sense looking back on it, but we would do everything possible to get scared. Me and my cousin and his roommate were just obsessed with it. And when it turned like October, whenever the haunted house, we would travel across North Carolina, multiple states.
That's perfect.
And I didn't care. I was just along for the ride. It didn't bother me. And whatever was just as scary. I don't know why. But that feeling just intrigues
So
people.
good.
It reels people in.
Especially
And
like
some
y'all
people
are
it doesn't. Some people,
Like,
some people don't like it. So
Yeah.
So trying something new, if you could pick your next thing that you would be willing to try, that's kind of
Dang,
extreme.
you put me on
you
the
have to
spot
eat
here.
McDonald's for the next 30 days or watch a scary movie.
Yeah, only
You gotta
McDonald's.
pick only McDonald's for 30 days, or you have to watch a scary movie of
And
our
we pick
choosing.
it.
Well, choose. What is it going to be?
Well, we'd
Oh,
have
no,
to
no,
sit
no.
down and do a
Well,
little
then,
research.
We'll have to figure out what it's going to be
But I got
first.
a couple ideas.
I might
I
go
do
Mickey
too.
D's.
Really? Would it be that bad?
Yes, I'm just same thing. I'm just not worth. It's not worth it.
That'd be terrible.
Mickey
McDonald's
D's
for
would-
breakfast, lunch,
it
and
would
dinner,
mess
be
me
messed
up.
Oh
man.
boy, it'd be messed up.
God.
The Spencery's getting a little thick down there working out. Yeah.
I have a heart
Big
attack
Mac.
You
too.
can't do a
Yeah.
bar muscle up anymore. He's doing
Oh,
35.
Yeah.
gosh.
Man.
That is bad. No, if you had to pick something that's not like, I'm going to try jalapeno. I ain't never had one. Something like skydiving. Like if there was
Oh,
something.
skydiving would be cool.
Oh
So you
my
would try that?
Yeah.
You can die, Spence.
Okay.
Oh, shoot, don't come open. Like,
God.
but you'll try that and not watch a scary movie.
It's different.
But that's
See, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like
So that's my. I wouldn't skydive, but I watch a scary movie in a second. So that we're the
yeah,
opposite.
I don't know. It's just
So that'd be like an extreme thing you would try.
Yeah.
Probably because a lot of people would be like, that's pretty extreme. I'm not jumping out of a plane.
yeah, it's pretty crazy, but I'd do it.
Especially the first time because you're strapped to somebody and air control and everything.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Nate's already freaking out about it.
Hopefully they pull the chute.
I don't know.
Hopefully the chute
I
opens.
wouldn't pay for it myself. Actually, I probably wouldn't do it at all. I don't know.
McDonald's for
that's
30 days or jump out of airplane.
Sweetheart, make it Zaxby's and
Nope,
we'll
I said
count.
McDonald's.
We'll make it work.
Oh, I
Dang.
don't know. Something.
Kyle said it's crazy.
Yeah, I
Kyle,
bet so.
He
Kyle
did
went
it?
and did it. He's an absolute maniac. He loves stuff like that.
Yeah,
He's
it
like,
gives
hey,
you
you ever
that-
think about jumping, just getting in an elevator in the Eiffel Tower, getting to the top and jumping off and just parkouring it? Like, Kyle, that's not possible. He's like, I don't know. I think I could stick it. I'm like, I don't think so. But if anyone could, you'll
You
probably pull
probably
it
could.
off. Yeah, he said it's
Oh.
amazing. He said it's like a
Gives you an adrenaline
euphoric
rush.
feeling. Like
Really?
it's insane.
Dang.
He almost says like you don't feel like you're falling.
That's crazy.
That's a hard.
You're like
that's
floating almost.
Yeah, it's probably a very hard
Real
thing
fast
to explain.
like
but
the
Oh,
wind, whatever.
hitting you hard, yeah.
Speaking of the wind thing, what about trying something new like the old hurricane vending machine?
hey,
What?
yeah, we're putting you in that thing now.
What is this?
So it's like a vending machine, a little bit taller, a little bit
It's
bigger.
not like a vending machine.
Yeah,
but,
it's like
okay.
it's a clear vending machine. You don't get drinks or nothing out of it. It creates hurricane force winds in it.
Stage 1
Oh,
through 5.
I know exactly.
And you can pick-
Did you tell me?
About the girl, the
Yeah, the girl
5-year-old
who's getting
girl. Yeah,
whacked.
some dad, some guy at the
$2.
museum. It's $2. I told him to do it. He wouldn't do it. So I said, hey, I'm watching these people. I want to know what this is like. Some dad lets his wife, son, probably 8-9-year-old son, and 4 or 5-year-old daughter in there, and sitting out there videoing them.
Hurricane
They
5.
hit Katrina stage 5, and this girl is just getting the mess beat out of her. She's going everywhere. She's covering her
People
eyes.
pay
covering-
$2 for this. It's just the lines
and
of them.
no one's doing. The girl is getting beat up,
And nobody's
and
helping
no
her.
one's doing anything. I'm losing it.
They look miserable.
We're the only ones laughing in this entire museum, and he makes me leave because I'm crying,
We can't
laughing.
keep it
Like, is someone
together.
gonna get this girl? The dad just videoing it.
Yeah, just
It's
think
a
that's
stage 5 hurricane.
that's
Yeah.
something the news tells you to stay out of, and people
they're
are lined
going
up to
right
pay
in it.
$2 to get in this thing.
Yeah, that don't make no sense. You're
Whatever.
running away
I
from
kind of want
these.
to try it now just to see
I'd
the
do it
winds.
just to see, but I want to see you go first.
We'll go in there. I don't care.
Can you go at the same time?
Yeah,
I
they
guess
had
so,
like
but
three-
you're pretty close.
They had 3 or 4 people in there.
No, they had 3 people, 2
Right.
children, under 12.
They were miserable, man.
Golly, I couldn't believe it. Just
Getting beat
like,
up. It's
someone
like they
get
got put in a
help her
blender
out.
without a blade.
Dad just laughed.
Just
She'll be all right. Like, golly.
What?
No one's going to say anything.
It's like they got put in a blender without a blade. Like,
Yeah, it's just
It is.
knocking them around. Yeah, looks like a life-size blender, and you're like $2.
It's like,
And you just
gosh,
pick it.
dude. The
Oh,
Macarena,
man.
they were going everywhere.
Let's try something new.
yeah, I mean, that would be
I
fun.
think they have one in Concord Mills.
I don't know if I could.
In Concord Mills?
I think I know they did at one point. I don't know if they still do.
What if we took you to the iFly place right here in
That's
Concord,
what I was about to say, yeah.
and they put you in
Our,
that thing,
our boy Willie hook us up.
and it simulates
Willow,
it?
baby. Hey, if you're watching, Willow, big shouts.
Yeah.
Good looks.
Would you try that? And if you're like, oh, it's not bad, I would jump out of a plane. I don't think those two correlate,
No,
right?
not at all.
Because
Not
you
at all.
know,
It's different, but it
Not
gives
at
you
all.
the stimulus of, like, coming down through the air or floating, I guess.
but you still like you know if that thing cuts off or something happens,
You're there.
okay.
See, at that point, and honest to goodness, before going there and paying that, I would just throw like a couple mattresses down here and just jump off the catwalk. It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes,
You're
it's-
out of
I
here.
would pay for that too.
If not, it's a little. Listen,
How about
I'm serious.
I'll pay
Bring
you
a mattress.
$50 if you do that.
I'll pay you $50, and we'll bring the mattresses.
Well, I'll provide the mattress. I don't
That's
trust y'all's
fine.
mattress.
we
That's
get a
fine.
mattress, ain't no springs in it.
And it's probably even more exhilarating if you think about it.
Yeah, definitely, because
I've
you're about to
I've
die.
always wondered about jumping off this. Like,
If you'd
I
survive.
had, absolutely have to.
I've thought about that a couple
I thought
times
about, like,
too. Or
twice,
if the
and I'm
rail
like-
falls or
I also
something.
I think about a lot of scenarios.
If someone like comes in
If
and
someone
breaks
comes in,
Could
like,
you
where-
jump
what
down
am I
and
doing?
like absorb
no one
the
knows
fall?
this building better than us, so it's
Oh, 100%.
impossible.
You ain't surviving.
No,
If you jump off the catwalk, you survive.
We're saying
you're a
you're a little
Well,
you're 2 steps
back up,
behind.
Terry.
We're talking about if someone breaks in
Yeah.
and tries to, for whatever reason, attack us
Yeah.
here in this like AR. Got an AR. They walk
Yeah.
in here. Like,
Dang, I had to cut this out. Sorry, Steve.
oh well, whatever. AR,
I'm just kidding. Yeah, go ahead.
AK-47. I
There we
got
go.
you.
All
That's
right.
better.
Yeah. And they attack us. What would you mean? Jump off and tackle them or something?
If I had to,
Yeah, it'll be fine.
If
Y'all
I'm
jumping
trying to-
off? I'm coming to my room.
guess what? He's gonna shoot down that. He's gonna shoot straight through that door, and it's gonna hit your.
So you
your
thought about that?
office.
Like you have to jump off and
I've
help
thought
somebody.
about a ton of crazy situations. I
How
don't know
high
why.
you think that is off the catwalk?
It's
for
high
people
enough
that
to
don't
break
know?
your legs. That's for sure.
20 foot?
and you might not survive.
right?
You deserve
20
the
foot.
fall, right?
Gosh, man.
To an extent, but you snapping something.
I remember one time I jumped off the bed, top bunk of a bunk bed. When I landed, my own knee hit myself in the nose, and just
Oh.
that's just
Land
sort
in the old squat.
yeah.
used to- we
I
used-
landed this way.
That's terrible.
Oh my God.
We used
so
to
you
jump
did
off
the catwalk.
our whatever, our not our balcony, but our what do you call it whenever you get upstairs, but it's loft area, onto the couch.
How high is that? That's not no. This
It's probably
low,
like
right?
nah, it's probably like 15 foot. It's close.
You missed that though.
Yeah, if you miss the well, we had a coffee table that's all glass right next to the couch too. My mom would get pissed at us because we go, ah,
Frog splash.
Oh my gosh.
you gotta hit the coffee table.
No.
Bad, but
So I think the point of this today is
We're
just try something
Try
new.
something new.
Yeah.
like jumping off.
No. We're
Balcony?
not. And look, we're not
Catwalk.
Skydiving?
we're not going to exaggerate. We're not trying to exaggerate too much. Me and Spencer was talking about this earlier. If somebody says, "Hey, man, try this illegal drug," we don't think it's a good idea. Okay, we're not condoning that type of stuff. But if someone says, "Hey, man, try working out. Try this protein shake. Get a little sleep. I
Yeah.
don't know. Go on a trip. Go to this event. You're going to
could
be
be
fine.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
it'll be good for you." So I guess we're going to end it here, and we're going to go jump off the catwalk, all three of us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having
It's
me.
been real.
That's been great. Thanks, Spencer, for showing up last minute.
Yeah,
I've
buddy.
been here.
I've been here.
Nothing there.